All right, here we are back. Week 11 predictions video. Got G's joining in. Haven't done one of these in a couple weeks, so good to get back to a routine and do one here. Main three things we always harp on. Make sure you're doing your recruiting. Don't let your roster fall behind. There's no excuse that some of y'all bring in one player, two players. Like, there's plenty of 3-stars out there. Go fill your roster. Some of them can be pretty good, too. Secondly, stream your games. They're supposed to be streamed. If you're the away team in the game of the week, you should be streaming. Game of the weeks are always posted in the pinned message in main chat. And third, follow the rules. We've had a couple updates to rules and things like that, so if you need a refresher, you should go read them. Of course, we don't give warnings for rule breaks in here, so hate for y'all to have players suspended for crucial games down the stretch that you may need to win. God, sorry, I got a cough today. We're going to go over a couple things, top 25, Heisman Watch, conference standings, and then, of course, the games. So why don't we look at the Heisman Watch first? Got a couple Aggies up here at the top. Ray Benitez and Fatele McCracken, Texas A&M players. Then we got Jermaine Detmer, running back out of Ohio State. Damian Sora, Jesus running back, or Soro. And then Jonah Klatt, quarterback out of Colorado. Take a look here at the top 25. Pops up. There you go. Texas A&M, Michigan, the last two undefeated teams at 8-0. Followed by Auburn, Ohio State, and Penn State, rounding out your top 5. And then you got Colorado, Arkansas, Alabama, Florida, NC State is your top 10, with Clemson, Iowa, Mississippi State, and Baylor also in the top 25. So 14, and Syracuse. So 15 of the top 25 are users. That's good. We take a look at the players of the week here. So I'll do defense, and you can do offense, Chiefs. National Defensive Player of the Week for Week 10 is Gideon Fumagalli, corner out of Iowa State, 7 tackles, 2 interceptions, and a touchdown.
And Offensive National Player of the Week is Paris Steed, 7 carries, 288 yards, 4 rushing touchdowns, and he caught 2 catches for 12 yards and a 43-36 win at UCLA. That game was pretty good, so I watched it.
At USC, yeah, I mean, that's an upset, man. I mean, USC user came in. He's been looking good last couple games and drops the ball there. Right, go ahead and move on to the ACC here. Got an Alabama sweep. Defensively, it's Cameron Benshaw, 4 tackles, a TFL, an interception, and a touchdown for the free safety, and an 80-28 win at Oregon State.
And the offensive player for the ACC is Julius Pirine, 3 catches, 165 yards, and he got 2 touchdowns out of 3 catches. Very impressive.
Randy Moss numbers there. All right. Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week, Manu To'o, with 6 tackles, 1 interception, and 3 pass breakups.
And, of course, we already did the offensive guy. He was the national.
Yep. Big 10 Defensive Player of the Week, Keenan House, free safety out of Michigan, 6 tackles, 2 TFLs, an interception, and a touchdown, in a 50-3 thumping of the Irish.
And offensively for the Big Ten, Lamar
Montague,
31 for 44, 494 passing yards, 8 touchdowns, and he carried the ball 4 times for 16 yards.
I don't think they played. I think that's a force win stat.
Oh, dang.
There's no way. I'll have to look and check. I didn't think they played unless they squeezed it in last second. I didn't know. SEC
Wow.
Defensive Player of the Week, Zach Worthy, Mike linebacker for the Razorbacks. 4 tackles, 1 interception, 1 touchdown, and a 42-17 win over the Baylor Bears.
Offensive for the SEC, Ray Benitez, 7 catches, 193 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, that dude's a demon. All right, take a look at the conference standings here. Take a look at who's on pace for a bowl game, who needs to do what, and then conference championship. So we'll start off with the ACC here. Top 5 users, all pretty good chance to make a bowl game, I'd say. 3 of them only need 1 win to clinch. FSU got a tough hill to climb, 3-5, and a tough schedule left. Miami and Georgia already eliminated from that. As far as conference championship goes, Auburn and Alabama, once again, sitting in the driver's seat, heading towards a monumental matchup at the end of the year. But NC State at 3-1, Clemson 2-2, Florida 2-2. It's going to be a crazy finish down the stretch here for the ACC. Go to the Big 12. Colorado and Oregon both sitting at 3-0 in conference play. Boise State one game behind, though, 2-1. That got that loss to Colorado. Probably going to come down to your game with Oregon at the end of the season, like it usually does. USC and UCLA also, they're at 2-2. Don't count them out. As far as bowl game goes, I think the bottom 5 are probably not going to make it. You're at 4-4. It's going to be you have to finish strong this year, at least 500 to make a bowl. And Oregon and Colorado both should be bowl. Big Ten wise, top 4 all going bowling for sure. But if you look here, Iowa and Notre Dame both sitting at 4-4 have a chance to get to a bowl game. So hopefully at least one of them will make it there. As far as conference championship goes, Michigan, the driver's seat at 4-0, Ohio State 3-0, also heading toward the big game, the last game of the year. Penn State and Syracuse play the last game of the season, and they are also still in the race, although I would say Syracuse has probably got a real tough hill to climb with already losses to Ohio State and Michigan. And then finally the SEC. This one is pretty much wrapped up already. Texas A&M and Arkansas, although they do play this week, heading towards probably a rematch in the SEC championship game with State, Baylor, and Texas all 2 conference losses already. As far as a bowl game goes, I think the top 3 are in for sure. Texas has a really favorable schedule, so I think the Longhorns are going bowling as well. Baylor gets a win this week over CPU, so they'll only need one more. They've got Oklahoma to finish the year, so they should be able to make a bowl as well. Oklahoma and SMU probably not going to be going bowling this year. Real quick, you don't usually do this, but I'll take a peek at the player stats. Of the team stats. Get a good idea who's having a good year. So offensively, I think you could expect this. Texas A&M averaged 62 a game. I think that would be the BCL record if they could maintain that point spread. Number 1, and then looking through here, average the most yards per play as well. 59 passing touchdowns on the year is nuts. And then Auburn leading all users with 25 rushing touchdowns on the season. If you go to defensive stats, expect to see Michigan here. Only giving up 15.8 per game. BYU 46 is the most in the country. See here. Michigan also number 1 in total yards allowed. 200 less yards than Penn State. Passing yards, Michigan number 1, only 1407 given up on the year. Rushing yards, Penn State is number 1 at 360, but look at the Big Ten there. I mean, the Big Ten rush defense is really good. You got the first top 5 all from them. Sacks. Most sacks in the league is by Texas A&M with 24. Most interceptions in the league, Texas A&M with 31. That's 10 more than anybody else, with Alabama and Boise State both there with 21 picks each. All right. Conversion percentage, Texas A&M also on pace to break the third down conversion percentage record at 65%. And then I will just look at turnover differential before we get into Texas A&M at 22, Colorado at 20, Michigan at 15, Auburn at 14, Oregon State, Georgia, SMU, Stanford, and USC, the bottom 5. All right, so into the predictions now. All right, starting off in the ACC, 8th-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide at 5-3. Coach Twan rolling into Clemson to play the Tigers, 13th-ranked, also at 5-3. And E-Fly. This game is usually a pretty good game between these two. E-Fly has to win this week if he wants any chance at the ACC Conference Championship game, and both of them really need to win if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive.
I've been watching too many games all like that, like I normally do, but I think I did caught a glimpse of Twan's game. I haven't really been paying attention to E-Fly this year. I usually go with the home team, but I think I'm going to go Alabama in a close one on the road. I'm going to say 24-21 Bama.
E-Fly really held his own last week versus Peso, an 8-point loss. I think this is not going to be an easy win for Twan, but I will take the Tide as well to get it done on the road here. I just like his scheme a lot more in this one. Turns the ball over a little less. So give me Alabama 31-21 over Clemson. Next, got a battle for the Sunshine State here. The 2-7 Miami Hurricanes traveling to Tallahassee to play the 3-5 Florida State Seminoles. This is Rob at Coach LP. If LP wants any chance of a bowl game, this has to be a win.
Yeah, I think he'll get it done at home. Um, Rob has been struggling a bit this season. I'll take the home team to try to keep his bowl chances alive. I'm going to say 28-17, Florida State.
Yeah, I like the Noles here. I think this one will be relatively close. Let me go Florida State because they're at home here. I'll go 24-14, 24-17. Florida State beats Miami. Big time game here. 10th ranked NC State Wolfpack at 5-3. Coach Dean traveling to Auburn to the Plains to play the 3rd ranked Tigers at 7-1 and Coach Peso. If Dean wants to make the ACC championship game, he probably needs to win right here. I think he has a good chance to make it if he can get a win right here because he only has one really tough game left, and that's Gabe. But Peso, I mean, just high flying right now. Only loss in the years to the undefeated Michigan Wolverines.
And I'm going to go with Bama at home, Auburn at home. I think it's going to be a good game, but, man, Peso, man, he's been on fire the last few seasons. I'm going to say 31-24.
Yeah, Dean always says how much better he is than Peso and how he's only lost him one time or whatever. I think that Peso is going to show him the pecking order in the ACC. I mean, he's trying to get that Wolfpack roster together still. I mean, it's gotten a lot better. But Peso just has such a great scheme. And at home and the way he runs the ball, it's just tough to stop. So give me the Tigers here, and I think they win by 14. I'm going to say, or I'll go 10. I'm going to say 28-17. Auburn beats NC State. All right, it's the Big 12 matchups. Got the 2-6 USC Trojans, Coach Noel, traveling to Eugene to play the 5-3 Oregon Ducks and Coach Freeway.
Yeah, I think Oregon wins this pretty handily at home. I'm going to say 42-21.
Yeah, this game before USC's upset last week was heading towards being a lot more meaningful as far as Big 12 title hopes. But now I think USC's season kind of starting to sputter a little bit. I like Oregon here. Freeway's having his best season he's had since, I don't know, at least 3 or 4 seasons. He's got the Ducks playing well, so give me Oregon to win this one at home. Let's go 28-24 over USC. Next, the 1-7 Stanford Cardinal, traveling to Boise to play your 4-4 Broncos. This is Chevy at G's.
I'm going first.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Chevy should play this game. He's missed his last 2, but I think he's going to be active enough to play this one. I just don't like the way he's been playing. He hasn't really done enough work on his roster either, so I think you're the better user with the better roster and home field advantage. I'm going to take Boise State here. I think it will be a relatively comfortable win. I'll say 31-17. Boise State beats Stanford.
Yeah, he kind of took my score a little bit. I'm gonna have some tough battles, particularly when he's at home. But when I'm at home, I usually win a little bit more comfortably. I'm gonna say 30-17, Boise State.
All right. Next, we have the 6th ranked Colorado Buffaloes at 7-1. Coach Saban traveling to Provo to play the 2-6 BYU Cougars and Dwayne. Dwayne kept his season alive for one more week. I think it's probably about to end here, though. Any chance of a bowl?
Yeah, Colorado. Well, I got my butt beat last week. Kind of see the same thing. I'm going to say 56-10.
Yeah, I'm thinking kind of around the same score. I'll go 52-14. Colorado wins. Big Ten wise, got a couple games of the weekend here. The 4-4 Notre Dame Fighting Irish, Coach Nelly, traveling to Madison to play the 2-6 Wisconsin Badgers. These two usually have a relatively good game, especially when Wisconsin is home. There's going to be a lot of running the football in this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the home team on the upset with this one. Sorry, Nelly, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say 27-24. Wisconsin pulls off the upset.
I actually think Nelly gets done this week. I think he's been turning the ball over less lately than he had earlier in the season. I like the Irish to win this one in a slugfest, 21-14 at Wisconsin. All right, next we have the 1-7 Virginia Tech. Oh, I got to check that fucking game, see if they played or if that was a fucking sim. 500 yards and 8 touchdowns and a sim win. Okay,
Wow.
crazy. The Hokies and Coach Chap traveling to Iowa City to play the 16th ranked Hawkeyes and Coach Connor.
Yeah, I'll go with Iowa on this one. I'll say 34-17.
Yeah, I can't figure Connor out. He kind of plays to the level of his competition, is what it feels like. So I think this one will be close early, but I think that the Hawkeyes pull away. I'll say let's go 31-14. Iowa wins. Next, probably the biggest game of the week. Arguably either this one or one more later on. The 4th-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes at 7-1. Coach Hayden traveling to University Park to Beaver Stadium to play the 5th-ranked Penn State Nittany Lions, also at 7-1, and Coach Dess. If Dess wants to make the Big Ten championship game, he has to have a win here. But of course, both of them have sights on a bigger prize, making the playoffs and getting to the Natty.
Yeah, man, it's a tough one right here, man. You know what? I'm gonna go with the home team on this one in a close game, man. I'm gonna say 21-17.
Yeah, I like the way Hayden's playing this year. He's playing a lot better. Not that he was playing bad before, but I like the way Dess is playing as well. I like that he has home field advantage. I think that's going to be the difference here for me. So I'm going to say Penn State wins it 24-17 at home to Ohio State. Next, Chapo will give me a force win over Michigan State. And finally, to the SEC games. Texas getting a force win over LSU. We still don't have an LSU user. We thought we had one, but he went ghost. Baylor getting the force win over TCU. So 2 games left here. We'll skip the big one for a second. We'll go to 3-5 Oklahoma. The Sooners, Coach Moore, traveling to Dallas to play the SMU Mustangs and Coach Domo. I think this one's going to be a relatively good game. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so too. I actually watched a little bit of JJ and SMU. I mean, of course, JJ is one of the better users, but I think SMU held his own, kind of, sort of, even though he didn't. It wasn't like a one-score game or nothing, but I'm gonna say he wins because he has the home field advantage. I'm gonna give him 30-27. I think it's gonna be a close game. SMU pulls it out.
Moore has a better roster. I think Domo is a slightly better user, so it's tough. I think if Oklahoma was home, I'd absolutely pick the Sooners. This one feels like it's going to come down to the wire. I'm going to take SMU to win this one because I feel like you probably will have less turnovers. So give me the Mustangs. Let's go 31-28. Game-winning field goal. SMU beats Oklahoma. Finally, we got the Southwest Classic, although it's not played in Dallas anymore. The number 1 ranked Texas A&M Aggies at 8-0. Coach JJ sporting the league best 17-game win streak, traveling into Fayetteville to play the 7th ranked Arkansas Razorbacks at 6-2, and Coach Drop.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the undefeated team in this one. I think he has things rolling. I think he'll continue. It'll be a close game, but I think Texas A&M pulls it off 34-30.
Yeah, I have been one who's given Drop his flowers the last couple seasons. I don't think his team is constructed as well this year, especially because he doesn't really have an elite run game. So I think he could struggle from that aspect. At least he's got home field advantage in it, but I mean, Texas A&M is just, I mean, JJ's playing as well as he ever has. He's won 3 straight natties, and it looks like he's heading towards a 4th if Michigan or Colorado or somebody doesn't step in the way. So I'm going to take Texas A&M to win this one on the road. I think it's close in the first half, but Aggies pull away. Let's go 45-28. Texas A&M beats Arkansas. All right, and that is going to do it for the predictions video. Appreciate G's joining in. If any of you
All right.
guys ever want to be in a predictions video or want to do your own, just feel free to hop in or send someone a message or something like that. Don't have to be a commish or something to do these. It's always fun to get different people's opinions and stuff. But regardless, everybody have a good day.